Now available in paperback and e-readers, Spellbound, A Darker Shade of Black. Get your copy today at your favorite online bookseller. I was watching a video in the library where actress Monique pretty much went off on a rant where she pretty much condemned producers Lee Daniels, Tyler Perry, and Oprah Winfrey for not supporting her in trying to get quality roles and equal pay. And she was right to pretty much go off on that rant because she has not been supported in the way many white actresses were supported after they won an Oscar, or black actresses have been supported when they win an Oscar. Now, when you look at Monique's career, she should be making far more money and getting more job opportunities. Unfortunately, because Monique pretty much decided to speak out about the way she has been treated, she's been pretty much blacklisted by not only black Hollywood, but she's also been blacklisted by white Hollywood. And the reason why they have pretty much blacklisted her is because she pretty much refuses to follow the narrative of the white liberals in Hollywood. And because she does not follow the narrative of the white liberals in Hollywood, they pretty much have called her difficult. And what they mean by difficult is that your Monique is considered a loose cannon. She is not someone who is going to buck dance and bojangle and pretty much make efforts to fit into the narrative of the white liberal in Hollywood, such as guys like Jamie Foxx and Steve Harvey and Halle Berry have done in order to continue to make the big dollars. And this is something that many people don't understand about your Hollywood. In order to make the big dollars, oftentimes these actors and actresses have to make compromises to fit within the white liberals' narrative. And your Monique pretty much has not made those compromises, and that's one of the reasons why she wound up blacklisted. Your Lee Daniels, pretty much after he had made Precious, had no use for her because she didn't fit the narrative that he was going to push, and she was pretty much trying to set a course for her career to go in, and that was a different course than the narrative of the white liberal. Because we look at your Monique, after she won that Oscar, she was looking to be a serious actress. She made serious efforts to lose weight. She made serious efforts to get her body right. She made serious efforts to get herself poised to compete with other actresses. Unfortunately, your Monique just didn't understand the racism that goes on in Hollywood as it relates to black women and white women. Now, your Monique wanted to be a serious actress, and she wanted to make money in Hollywood on the same level as the white actresses, and she was justified in wanting to make that money because she has pretty much proven that she is a competitor by her work that is on her resume. Now, when you look at Monique's resume, she has pretty much proven that she can compete. She went from doing stand-up to doing the UPN show The Parkers and leading that show because she was the lead actress on that show. And then after that, she then graduated to the movies. And that graduation to the movies, again, pretty much proved that your Monique was an actress who could compete. And she went and she did these comedy movies like Soul Plane. Even though it was a minstrel show, she did prove that she had some skills and she could pretty much entertain on the screen. She then graduated from that film to leading a movie called Fat Girls, which again proved that she could pretty much lead a movie and carry a movie. So she has proven in her perspective that she can do things in Hollywood. She pretty much proved she could be a lead actress. She pretty much proved she had a comedy range. She pretty much proved she can graduate from television to film because television is considered a low level and going up to film is a higher level. And then when she got offered the role for Precious, she pretty much gave the performance of her career, a performance so strong that she pretty much won an Oscar for it. An Oscar I believe she pretty much deserved because to go all the way from a comedy actress to a serious lead role, not lead role, but supporting role, and then pretty much nail that character, pretty much proved she had some acting range. And she was looking to be a serious actress on the same level as the white actresses, and she was looking to get paid the same as those white actresses. Again, she pretty much ran into the wall of Hollywood racism as it relates to white women and black women. Now, this is something your Monique probably was never told, about Hollywood as it relates to black women. Now, your black woman in Hollywood is not on a high level. When it comes down to Hollywood, your black woman is considered the lowest person on the totem pole. And the reason why they are the lowest person on the totem pole is because they are not considered a strong draw. And the reason why they're not considered a strong draw is because Hollywood has a hierarchy that works like this, and it works like this due to economics. Because the persons who pretty much bring in the most box office are usually white males and white females, and then after that is the black male, and after that is the black female. And usually, when it comes down to the black female is considered the lowest drawing person in Hollywood. Oftentimes, when films are made featuring black women, they usually perform the worst and they open at the weakest level. And this is one of the things that Monique didn't really understand about Hollywood's business hierarchy, and that Hollywood really is a business, and they pretty much don't want to pay black actresses the same level as white actresses. And yes, it is racist and it is wrong because your Monique has pretty much proven she can open a movie. She's pretty much moved she can lead a movie, but Hollywood executives don't want to take a risk on a Monique because they fear they're going to lose a lot of money. Now, what really makes it racist is that many of these white actresses will sit up here and talk about equal pay. So I understand Monique's frustration about not getting paid on the same level, especially when you compare her Oscar to Halle Berry's Oscar and the serious bump in pay that she got. Now, many of these white actresses, after they win an Oscar, their asking price goes anywhere from the low level of $50,000 that they used to get all the way up to $5 or $10 million. And when your Monique won that Oscar, she thought she was going to get a serious bump in pay, and she thought she was going to get quality roles. Now, she says that they offered her scripts, and when they offered her the scripts, she said the material was okay, but what happened was she had an issue with the compensation. And her issue with the compensation, again, was pretty much fair because to ask an Oscar winning actor to work for $200,000 is a slap in their face. An Academy Award winning actor pretty much it means that your movie is going to get some serious attention. Once you say Academy Award, people are going to start taking a look at that film. So her being asked to still work for low wages was a slap in her face, especially when you compare it to what white actresses make after they win Oscars. Some of these women go all the way from making $5,000 or $6,000 like Hilary Swank did for films like Boys Don't Cry, up to $5 or $6 million a picture, or like Halle Berry after she won the Oscar for Monsters Ball, went all the way up from $1 million a film all the way up to $10 to $15 million a picture for films like Gothica and Catwoman, where Halle Berry was a $10 to $15 million actress and considered the highest paid black actress in Hollywood at one point. So Monique pretty much had a right to be frustrated because here's a woman who has pretty much put in the same work as Halle Berry, put in the same work as white actresses, has the same resume as Halle Berry or many of these white actresses, yet she is not being offered the same opportunities as many of these other actresses out here. And she feels that, rightfully so, to be frustrated because these opportunities aren't being offered to her, and when they are being offered to her, she is not being offered the same level of compensation. And that in and of itself, it shows the racism and sexism in Hollywood as it relates to black women and white women. Because your white female actresses, pretty much, they have great careers because one, the studios know that they are considered a lower risk, and two, they pretty much are looking to compensate them on at the level almost as equal to the men. Many of these white actresses out here make as much as the guys, and many of their production companies pretty much can go out here and produce and direct films. Whereas your Monique is still on the same level as a struggling actor, even with an Oscar. And that pretty much shows a serious discrepancy when it comes down to black actresses and white actresses. This is the same discrepancy I talked about a year or 2 years ago when I heard one of these actresses, white actresses, come out here talking about we want to fight for equal pay. Well, how is Monique being given equal pay in Hollywood? Here's a woman with a equally strong resume as many of these white actresses. However, they don't want to compensate her on the same level or even take a risk to give her the same type of material or the same type of projects and compensate her on the same level. She has pretty much proven that she can carry a movie, and she should have been given an opportunity to show that she can pretty much carry a movie after winning an Oscar. I mean, Jamie Foxx has been given numerous opportunities. Denzel Washington has been given numerous opportunities. Halle Berry has been given numerous opportunities, and that's what Monique was asking for. Unfortunately, she got no support from white Hollywood, and even worse, she got even less support from black Hollywood. Now, when it comes down to black Hollywood, they have pretty much slapped this woman in the face. And when you look at the way Lee Daniels and Tyler Perry and Oprah Winfrey have treated this Academy Award winning actress, it is reprehensible and egregious. This woman has worked hard to pretty much get herself up to this level and show that she can compete on the same level. She has shown that she has pretty much persevered and is willing to work hard to be a lead actress, and she's looking to compete. But your Lee Daniels, your Tyler Perry, and your Oprah Winfrey, even though they have resources and can help this woman, didn't make any efforts to do so. And these are people who say that they want to make images of black people, but when you look at what happened with Monique, they didn't want to work with her because she did not fit their narrative, and she didn't fit the narratives that the white liberal has for black actresses. Now, if you're Monique had come out here talking about buck dancing and bojangling, like many of these other black actresses who have won Oscars, like the woman who won for The Help and Viola Davis, who stars in How to Get Away with Being a Minstrel, and women like Kerry Washington on Scandal, they'd have no problem trying to help this woman because she's pretty much fitting the narrative that they want for black people. And this really shows us how much black Hollywood is against black people, because we look at the way this Monique was treated, and they pretty much had no use for her because she wasn't fitting the narrative that these white liberal slave masters had for the black community and the black image. And because she spoke out about it, they decided to spin it by saying that your Monique was difficult, she had an attitude, and they wanted to promote pushing a stereotype on this woman, when in actuality, she was really fighting to present a more balanced picture of black women in Hollywood. This is something a lot of people don't understand about Hollywood as it relates to black and white, and this is something I went into in my screenplay, All About Marilyn, where I talk about how black women are presented in Hollywood and the struggles of black actresses in Hollywood, because I understand the struggles of black actresses in Hollywood to get quality material and to get quality scripts even greenlit by a studio, or even get that meeting with an executive to get a quality script greenlit, because it is almost next to impossible to get quality material in the hands of a studio executive when it's related to black women. Because if you have a quality script, in many cases, and the executives find out about it, what they're going to do is they're going to buy that script, and then they're going to have it rewritten, and then they're going to give it to a white actress, and they're going to do that because that's how they're going to make their money. They make more money with the white actress than the black actress, and then many black actresses have to take the scraps from the table, because that's what Monique was pretty much being offered after she won that Oscar. I guarantee you that, because that's what Halle Berry was pretty much offered in many cases. A lot of scraps, a lot of leftovers. The stuff that Sarah Jessica Parker, Demi Moore, and many of these other white actresses got and didn't want, they hand over to the black actresses, and they never get a chance to actualize their potential and take their careers to the next level and be on the same level as white actresses. And this is something that isn't talked about, because when it comes down to America, no one wants to talk about the racism as it relates to white women and black women, because when it comes down to the image of the white woman, they want to make sure that it remains pure, it remains sweet, it remains innocent, and that the white woman appears to be the nicest person in the room. But what many people don't know about white actresses in Hollywood is that many of them are the biggest hypocrites in the room, the biggest racists in the room, and they make every opportunity to oppress black actresses and prevent them from getting equal opportunities. And they often have stooges like your Oprah Winfrey, your Lee Daniels, and your Tyler Perry to help work towards that goal. They don't really want images of black women on the same level as white women because they want to maintain the level of the image of the white woman as the pinnacle of beauty in America and the ultimate ideal for what a woman should be. So they don't want that image out there, and they don't want the stories out there being told about black actresses and the struggles that they go through. And when we look at Monique's story, it pretty much fits in line with many of the struggles I've read about regarding black actresses, because I've been reading about this struggle for about 20 years. And I remember reading an article in Essence magazine where they talked about the actresses of a previous generation, such as Rosalind Cash and many others, who never got their opportunity to play roles on the same level due to the racism that goes on in Hollywood. Racism that sadly is supported not only by white people in Hollywood, but black people in Hollywood as well. And they do this because they want to continue getting the green light from white liberals in Hollywood for their own projects. So they participate in a covert contract where they pretty much make efforts to make sure that their films pretty much fit the narrative of white liberals. And they don't want to tell stories that pretty much give us a broader picture of the black experience. When I look at Monique's story, it pretty much fits in line with many of the stories I read about as I was doing my research for All About Marilyn and learning about the struggles of black actresses in Hollywood and it pretty much proves a point that many people know about black people, that even if you work twice as hard, you still don't get that far. Because I look at Monique, here is a woman who was pretty much proven she could carry a television show. She graduated to movies. She pretty much proved she could lead a movie. She pretty much proved she could perform on a high level, on the level the same as white actresses. She goes out here, wins an Academy Award, but she doesn't get the same opportunities that white actresses get, nor does she get the same compensation that they get. And what makes this hypocritical is that these same white liberals in Hollywood will sit there and say on a stage, we need to fight for equal pay for white women, when white women such as Kate Jackson, Suzanne Summers, Demi Moore, Sarah Jessica Parker, and many others have been making hundreds of millions of dollars. Meanwhile, black actresses such as Kimberly Elise, Sally Richardson, Felicia Rashad, Tia Mowry, Persia White, and many others, they don't even get even a tenth of that compensation. When I look at the resumes of black actresses and I look at the roles that they take and I look at their films from direct to video and even indie productions, these black actresses pretty much prove they have the potential and talent to go out here and play great roles, but they rarely get the opportunities and they rarely get their projects greenlit or even distributed when they even get made, or the support from these studios. And the reason why is because, again, they want to continue perpetuating the image of the white woman as the ideal standard and the ideal standard of beauty and the image of America. And they want to suppress these black actresses and prevent them from actualizing their potential. And this is the bigger picture that a lot of people aren't going to see regarding Monique and her anger and her frustration. Because I understand her frustration. I've read about it for years. I've studied it, and I understand where she's coming from. Because when it comes down to black actresses, they don't get the opportunities out there that white actresses get, nor do they get compensated. And it's sad that she's not able to get this, and she's pretty much been blacklisted. And the reason why she is so angry and coming out like this is because she feels she has nothing to lose. Hollywood has pretty much used her to pretty much perpetuate the stereotype of the black sapphire and the black mammy. And now that she pretty much proves that outside of Hollywood, she is not going to follow the narrative by being a buck dancing, bow jangling minstrel, they pretty much have no use for her. And she feels betrayed by Black Hollywood because Black Hollywood has pretty much abandoned her and pretty much left her out to fall by the wayside. They have pretty much thrown her away and pretty much told her, "You're just out here." And the reason why she is now out here is because, again, she's not playing the politics of Hollywood. And because she's not playing the politics of Hollywood, they have pretty much discarded her. But sadly, that is the horrible business of Hollywood. And that's something else I went into all about Marilyn. If you don't make the money for people in Hollywood and you don't follow their narrative, they will make efforts to pretty much get rid of you. And everything that I wrote in all about Marilyn, sadly, is happening to Monique right now. And a lot of people, they're sitting there thinking that this is just an angry black woman without understanding what she's angry about. Now, you can pick up all about Marilyn on Amazon.com in paperback and Kindle. And if you want to support this channel, you can continue to do so by donating to my Patreon. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe.